We'll take them out. You don't need earplugs.
Oh.
You mean tell me you had earplugs in this whole time? Until you figure out how to hold it off. But for right now, I want you to just lay the cup down on it, and then you'll pull the trigger. And you'll hear it, it'll sound like an egg frying. It'll go like that, and then you let off. You're gonna go 1,000, 2,000, and then let go, okay? Then you're gonna scoot down just a little bit, and you're gonna go 1,000, 2,000, and let go. 1,000, 2,000, let go, okay? And that's how you spot weld, okay? And we'll go into it a little bit more when you go to do an actual weld, because when you actually weld, you don't hold it like on here, you use both hands here, and you hold it up off of it, and when you pull the trigger, you just hold the trigger down, and you go like this, in a circle, kind of like a circle loop, like that. See how I'm doing that? You do it around and around like that right there. Now that is like, there's different types of like circles. Like some people will draw C's. They'll go like this, C, 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 C. But as they're drawing their C's, they're moving. So here, when you start over here, you're going here and then over here. And then when you come back over here, you're further down than you were over here. And then over here, you come back, you're further down. So you keep moving. You're walking it down as you're doing it. So that's a C. You can do an E, like where you're just kind of drawing a circle around. And that all kind of depends on what type of weld. It doesn't really matter about that right now. Right now, all I want you to do is I want you to just spot weld it. So you're going to lay the cup down on it, you're going to pull the trigger, and you're going to count to 2,000. 1,000, 2,000. Okay? And then you'll let go. And then you're going to look at it again, you're going to move down a little bit, 1,000, 2,000. Move down, 1,000, 2,000. Okay? See? But when you get down here, you won't have any edge, so you'll have to just hold it where you want it. You understand?
You gonna get yours?
Yeah, I'm gonna get my helmet so I can help you. We're gonna turn it on. I'm gonna leave it at 1 and 20. So it's gonna be like this. Now I'm gonna hold it.
Like that?
You need to use 2 hands.
Like that?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm ready. A little bit more. Hold it longer. Okay, stop. And look. You see how it's popping like that?
Yeah.
We're going to, we need to adjust our heat. So we're going to go up a little bit. Hang on. Don't touch it. Alright. Now let's try it again. Okay. Now, do you see this? You welded on this piece of metal, but you didn't get it on that piece of metal.
Like that?
So you were turned over this way too far.
Oh, like that?
Yep.
I followed it.
Okay. You still welded on this piece of metal.
Oh.
So what you want to do, here, let me show you.
Uh-huh.
Let me show you how we do this, okay? I'm going to do the other side so you can kind of see. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down here. I'm actually not going to touch, but what you're going to do is you're going to hold it down.
Did you actually weld that?
Yeah.
Why didn't it melt?
Because that's what it's supposed to do. It melts into it a little bit.
Oh.
I held it longer than what I'm telling you, so you're going to have to hold it longer. You see how your bead is all fat, it's sticking up? See how mine is flat? Mine melted in because I held it longer and let some heat build up in it.
How did you hold yours?
I don't know. I didn't count. You don't really count. you want to look at your puddle. You want to have a puddle and you want to look at your puddle
Ready?
when you're welding. Yeah, I'm ready.
You look right here?
Yeah. Okay, now let's see what we got.
A bubble.
Yeah, you still got a big bubble on this side of the metal. You want it on the other side too. So you may have to rock it a little bit, okay? Slowly.
Rock it?
Yep.
How?
Pull the trigger and then you're gonna twist your wrist a little bit like that and work it over. You're not moving.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that was falling.
Okay. Yeah, that one was pretty good. So you got it on both pieces and it melted in. So you're gonna scoot back and do another one.
Right there?
Yep. No. You want it right next to it, right on top of it.
Now?
No. You're still turned too far this way. You need to stand your wand up a little bit like that.
Stop.
Yep. There you go. Let go. Alright, so you still got too much on this side over here. You see that?
Yeah.
You got some penetration. You see how it's blue over here on the other side? It did weld to it, but you got too much over here. You need more over there.
That more?
Huh? So you're gonna come back away from it, stand it up more. Remember what I said? You gotta stand it up some. Alright, let it go. Alright. Oh, now we're cooking. Look at that. See how flat that is? And you got it on both pieces of metal. Now you got it, which side is it a little bit more on? It's more on this one. So you want your puddle, you want that to be centered. So your weld needs to be kind of centered. It's not bad though. You got good penetration on it. Hang on. You got good penetration. So you want to weld the next one. Go ahead.
Like that?
About right there.
Ready?
Can you see what you're doing?
Yeah.
Can you see the weld? Because you need to be able to see what you're doing.
Not good.
Okay.
Go.
Do you see the puddle when you're welding?
No.
Then you need to be where you can see the puddle. You should be able to see that red puddle as you're welding.
Only to be over here because I can't see over this.
Uh-huh. Right. So when I weld, I'm welding like this around the other side of it. And if I hold it like this, I can't see it. So you want to hold your wand over here like this where you can see what you're welding.
Oh, I like that.
Well, that's not the way I would do it. No, because you can't control that. You got it in your left hand. Let me have it. Let me hand it back to you.
Oh.
Like that.
No.
Can you see the end of it now?
Yeah.
Okay, weld on to the end of it.
Right there?
Sure. Alright, you see how you were mostly on this piece?
Yeah.
Could you see that in your helmet?
Yeah.
Okay, so try to correct that. Whenever you're welding, try to get it started in the center. Okay?
Should be around about there.
Okay.
Oh, that was good.
This is sheet metal. You can't go too much. Yeah, that was perfect. You did good on that one.
Do I need to do one?
Put one in between those two you just did. Put one in between them.
Okay.
No, you got too much over this way.
Yeah.
Again. So you want to try to get both pieces of metal, because if you just weld on the top piece, it doesn't. We'll take them out. You don't need earplugs.
Oh.
You mean tell me you had earplugs in this whole time?
I could hear you. I just could barely though.
You could barely hear me?
Yeah.
I wasted all that breath on you.
Hey, at least I got one.
You did all right. Okay. Well, maybe you can hear what I'm saying now that you ain't got earplugs in.
Oh, yeah.
All right, put me a weld right here between these two.
Those two?
Yeah.
So, right there?
No, between these two.
These two?
Right here, these two.
Oh. I didn't know which two you were. I was about to say that's two. No, that was good.
It's not bad. All right, now, what do you want to weld? You want to weld this over here?
I don't care.
All right, well, weld those. Weld this end of it up.
Right there?
Yep.
Right there, always.
Whatever works for you. Okay, now lay one beside it.
Wait a puddle.
Yep. Because the metal is thinner on the edge, so it doesn't take as much heat. Look, you see how thin it is over here on the edge?
Yeah.
So the heat, what happens is the heat builds up in the metal, and then it just turns it into liquid, and then it just falls through. Your weld will fall through. If you hold it too long, that weld that you're making that's real nice and pretty, it just falls right through. It goes on the ground.
Oh, did it?
So you can't hold it too long. No, you just burned through it. It didn't go through. No, it made a puddle on this side. That's what happened to it.
Oh.
So you want to weld it again, but you want to try not to hold too long or else it'll turn it into liquid that falls through.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. You didn't hold it long enough.
No, I got blue.
Okay? Alright, I'm going to try to help you. Let's do a bead, okay?
A
You
bead?
ready? Yeah, we're going to do a bead. You're going to hold the trigger and I'm going to try to help you move it. You're going to watch it though. Okay? Ready?
Well, are you ready?
Yeah, hold the trigger. Okay. See how hot it is? It's so still red. But look, you made a nice big bead all the way down it. Both of those pieces are welded together now. And so that's how you make a bead, a weld bead. You draw a circle.
I saw it.
You saw the circle, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the one.
I couldn't see it from my angle, but I knew what I was doing.
I saw the.
Yeah, yeah. So then we're gonna do that. We're gonna do this over here, but I want you to do it. You're gonna do this one
Oh, the
by yourself. Yeah, I want you to do it by yourself.
You're just gonna watch.
Yep. And you're going. What you're gonna do on this one is you're gonna start down here, okay? And the metal's a little bit thin right there because of that hole. You're not gonna be able to hold a whole lot of heat there. So you're gonna have to, as you weld, you're gonna have to move on a little bit,
Quickly.
just like I was doing.
Like.
And then when you get down here to the end, it's going to be really cherry hot because your weld, you remember how hot it was? If you notice, if you look at your metal, look, you got a blue spot all the way out to here. Look how far that is from your bead. You see that? Look how far it is here where you spot welded. See, it's not nearly that far. That's because you got more heat in this. You put more heat into that piece of metal and this piece of metal. But this piece of metal got a lot hotter right here than this piece when you weld it, when you spot it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do this one. I'm gonna let you do it. Go ahead. You're gonna put a bead on it, okay?
Am I ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. You're gonna start out over here on the end, okay?
What should I go with?
I'm ready. Use both hands. No, you blew through. See where you blew through? The reason why you blew through is because you didn't have it up on the other piece. You were just welding on this piece, and so it blew a hole in it. Yeah, it happens.
With concrete.
Yeah. Messed up my concrete.
You could probably fix it now.
Alright, now I want you to weld a bead down this one. Between them two holes, I want you to weld a bead through it. From that hole to this hole.
You want to see how I do
I want to see you weld a bead down it.
it? Wait, should I put it on like that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to do it with the...
Like this. And you're going to start out like that. And you're going to go in the circle all the way down it.
Oh. Look how red one is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lay it down. Lay it down where you can see your puddle. You got to hold it off of it. You can't hold it right on it.
Like that?
Yep. A little slower on the circle. Perfect. A little bit. Oh, not bad. Now, if you look, you see right here, this is where you were going real fast. You notice how your wire melted right here, and then it went over here. You missed that spot altogether because you were going too fast. And then you slowed down a little bit right here, and it got better, didn't it? All right.
Oh wait, is that the... That's part of the line.
Part of the wire. Here, weld this one. Weld another bead down it.
The wire.
From here down, that way.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. Not that good. Okay. Not bad at all.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. That's not bad at all, though. That's a good flat weld. So you notice how I had to slow you down a little bit? Because you were going a little bit too fast there.
Yeah, and I think she did serve.
Yep.
Oh. Why was the one why was that sticking down?
Because when you're pulling the trigger after you take it off of the metal, you're off the metal pulling the trigger. You want to be on the. Let me show you. I'll do one right beside yours, okay? And you just watch me, okay?
Alright. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Ready? Okay, so now,
Oh, yours was longer.
yeah, a little bit longer. But see how flat mine was too? That also means it got a good penetration weld. Because it's welding, it gets a good penetration.
You need this?
And it takes, for you to get a good penetration, you gotta have good clean paint. No paint in your way for the weld. The metal's gotta be clean. You gotta have the right amount of heat. And then, if you notice how yours, you're kind of going around and you got a little bit of a bow to it, that's because as you're walking it down, you're moving your hand. You're not moving your hand straight. That's normal, that happens. You got to learn how to do that. That's learning how to control it. And the other thing is, if you notice, this weld has more crown in it. Do you know what that means? Crown is when a weld goes up and over like this. You see that? So you would say this has a really high crown right here. This little spot weld that you didn't get good heat into, it's got a real high crown, okay? And this is a real flat weld. It doesn't have much crown to it. And do you know why it doesn't?
Because it's flat.
It's all in the size of your circle. When you're welding and you weld in a big circle, it takes a lot more metal to make that weld, and so you end up with a flatter weld. If you draw really small circles when you're welding, really small like this, you end up with a really narrow and fatter weld, taller. It's got a higher crown to it. So you want to try to have one that has a little bit of crown. This is not bad because you got a good penetration all the way down it. That's what you're trying to do, okay? You did good. You got this piece here fully welded in, and basically all you're trying to do on this is you're trying to spot weld it, like on this piece of metal and that piece of metal. You're trying to tie it together.
Okay.
So if you welded over on this piece too much, then you didn't stick to this piece, and so it'll fall off. You got to have both pieces welded equally, pretty much. You're trying to tie them together. Okay, so that's a good practice piece. And that's not a bad weld at all, really. That bead it looks good. See how much better you did from here to here? See that? You got quite a bit better, didn't you? That's awesome.